What's going on, everybody? This is Misfit. Welcome back to OverTakes. And today we are going to be talking about Week 1 in the Overwatch League. We're going to be doing the Saturday and Sunday game previews. Had 2 days in the books already. But before we dive into the Saturday and Sunday matches for the Overwatch League Week 1, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me. Thank you very, very much for all of your support. It's greatly, greatly appreciated if you've been here for 1 day or 5 years since I started. If you're new, thanks a lot for stopping by. Do Overwatch League content 2 to 3 times a week, depending on what's going on. So really quick, we'll talk about just some general overall takeaways from the first couple of matches that we've had. As far as meta goes, we'll just talk really quick about that, and then we'll dive into Saturday, Sunday. We had an unexpected Winston sighting. A lot of teams running Winston. I haven't heard anything from anybody talking about different stuff. I heard Doomfist, I heard Reinhardt. At least from the start, we saw Winston, some Sigma, a little off. I kind of knew they were going to run Genji and Tracer and things like that. That kind of seemed, and Ana. We all knew that stuff was going to happen. But the Winston one was kind of a curveball. But it makes sense. These guys play Winston a lot, and they know how to figure out his kit, and they knew how to use him. So once again, the Overwatch League pros show people that Winston's not trash. And also with other heroes, they've done this. Brig, etc., and what have you. So we saw a lot of Winston. We'll talk more about that stuff on the recap episode, which will be out early next week after either Monday, most likely Monday night or Tuesday morning. And I have just decided to, and I'm just going to throw this out there right now since you guys are watching, instead of doing Thursday morning and Saturday morning, I'm going to do Wednesday night, probably later, as far as my uploads for previews, Wednesday night later, and Friday night later. Just so some of you guys that are on the West Coast, not on the East Coast or Central Time or whatever, you're not in the Eastern United States, you can get to check out what I got going on, what I'm talking about earlier, before the matches start, instead of like right when they start. So that's going to do that. Let's talk about what we got going on Saturday and Sunday. We have a whole bunch of matches. Obviously, we have 4 on Sunday. Once again, obviously no East Coast times. And don't forget, guys, to watch these matches. Forget which ones have the drops if you're not in the beta and you want the beta. I forgot to say that on the last preview. But watch the matches. They're giving out 1,500 beta keys per stream. There's a lot of people on them, but still, you can be one of the people that gets it, and you can come in and join the fun. But other than that, let's just run down the schedule really quick. Saturday, we have 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Washington Justice taking on Toronto Defiant. Following that, we have at 4:30. These are all rough after the first match. Just throwing that out there because they end fast. You guys know how it works. Some of you. If you're new, once the first match ends, they have post-game interviews and a little recap, and then they dive into the next match. So 4:30 for the second match is a rough estimate of a time. That's, if they get started right at that time, that's generally when they're going to. But sometimes things go over, under, depending on if it's a blowout or a close match, and we go 5 maps and all that. So next match will be New York taking on Atlanta. And then the last match on Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, roughly, will be the Gladiators taking on the Boston Uprising. Okay, Sunday, we got 4 matches on Sunday. First match starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Vancouver taking on London. Next match will be Florida taking on Paris. After that, we have at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Dallas taking on Washington. And the last match for the weekend will be Houston taking on Toronto at roughly 7:30 p.m. So there's the schedule for what we got going on. Now let's talk about the 2 matches I have pegged as my key matches for Saturday and Sunday. First up, we're going to go with the best match of the day, in my opinion, the most intriguing one at least, from a competition standpoint as to where these 2 teams are. It's going to be the first match between Washington and the Defiant. Now, you guys know, if you watched my preview for Toronto and also the power rankings, I'm not too high on Toronto. I think they have pieces. I think they're, like I've been saying, they're like leftovers from a nice restaurant. They once were really good. They're still decent, but it's still not what it was as far as, what you want to see going in a new game, at least in my opinion. A lot of people are high on them. We're going to see what happens. It's go time, and we have them taking on Washington, which I'm a little higher on Washington this year than I was last year. With Washington, it's less of a player issue and more of a strategy and coaching issue that I have with them. If you guys remember from last year, the communication on our team seemed awful. They were not coordinated. They were way outclassed in every meta until it was almost too late. When they got a meta, they were unstoppable. But the problem was getting them to get the meta was hard. Toronto, obviously, another reset, whole new team. But this match is going to be fairly intriguing. Most of the tail of the tape, in my opinion, is going to go the way of the Justice. I like Mag better than I like Muse. I like Decay and Happy or Assassin, whichever combo of the three that you have, better than Hisu and Finale, although is having visa issues, so he's not going to be there, as far as I know right now. Obviously, the one glaring thing that Toronto does have over Washington is they have a sick support line, and we've watched it. If you watch some of the first couple of games, that seems to be a big thing. So I could be wrong on Toronto Defiant as on the whole, just with how good, in theory, Twilight and Chorong are going to be, and they're going to be vastly better than what Washington has to offer in Opener and Krillin. That's the one thing that I will take from Toronto in this. I do believe it's going to be a close match. However, Washington has the firepower on the DPS line, which are also very important. Everything's important, more important now with one tank. It feels like DPS are super, super important. So if you get Decay where you want him to be, and you get either Happy, because they're running some long-range hit scan stuff right now, or if you get in Assassin and run him on some things that he's good at. I'm assuming you're going to have Decay running a Tracer, or whatever he's come from. A Tracer, maybe you get him on Soldier, things like that. Soldier is very overpowered. We're seeing a lot of that going on early days. Obviously, they dropped a patch. If you guys haven't seen, check it out on the Overwatch website. They have nerfed some stuff. It's not in this game right now. I don't know when they're going to put it into Overwatch League. I haven't seen yet. It'll change things up a little bit. I don't think it's going to change it up too terribly much. These guys are already kind of in their zone with what they're going to run and all that. Toronto does have a chance in this game. I'm not going to rule them out. Washington, if they go in their normal, not prepared, they're discombobulated and weirdly not coordinated, and Decay's off doing whatever Decay does. But luckily, one thing, if he's playing Tracer, he can go off and do Decay things. That's fine. You want that in this game and in Overwatch 2. You can run around, do your Tracer bits, and have fun. It's going to pay dividends. But if they come in here and they're not ready, like they've proven in the past they have not been, Toronto could beat them. And I'm low on Toronto. In the end, I just think Mag is going to outclass whatever, especially if they're running Winston. I like Mag way better than I like Muse. I feel like that's a tank diff. But overall, I think Muse is going to be able to do things a lot more than, Mag is going to do a lot more things than Muse is going to be able to do for his team in the long run in this match. So I go with Washington 3-2 against Toronto on Saturday. In a close one, Toronto does have a chance. Like if you're watching that first map and you see Washington looking like what the fuck is going on, you know they're in trouble. But I think just the firepower with Decay, Assassin, and Happy, and Mag will outweigh the fact that Toronto has a fantastic and superior support line in this match. So that is my thoughts on my Saturday key game, which is going to be Toronto Defiant, Washington Justice. I have Washington winning 3-2. Let's move on to Sunday. Two teams we've already talked about. Now this to me is a big match. There are a couple of matches that are kind of meh. Houston Defiant, also interesting, but I like Dallas, Washington, and we're going to talk about that. All right, I'm going into this not talking about any results. So Dallas, we know Dallas. The tanks that they have are better than what Washington has. You got to go Fearless and Hanbin over Mag Kalios right now. I think the DPS lines are fairly even. I gave a little bit of an edge to Dallas. Now, Dallas is coming off of a live event really hype. The atmosphere is going to be totally different than them obviously going back and playing in a room online. So there could be a little bit of a hangover from that, not an actual hangover, possibly, I don't know. But like they could come out a little flat, I think, against Washington, especially if everything's going good and you're having a great night, you're pumped, you got to go play a match against Washington, who's not exactly easy. It's going to be a tough battle for them, I think. All around, though, Dallas is better than Washington. There could be a statement made that DPS-wise, they're pretty even. If you go with Decay, Assassin, Happy, it's almost as good. At times, it can be better than Doha Sparkle or Edison or Garillo. Whichever one of those that you put in, it's pretty close. But overall, I like Dallas on the whole. Obviously, I have them up higher. Washington, depending on what they do against the Defiant, we'll see. It could very easily be a wash job for Dallas, or they could give Dallas all they can handle and beat them. But overall, I like Dallas 3-2 just because of the factor that I said earlier. They are coming off of a LAN event, big show production, the whole 9 yards, and the next day they got to go and do just a regular match. Well, 2 days later, but still, it still has an effect on you. What I'm getting at is the effect of that is not exactly going to be going in and wanting to play a match after having an event and having fun and doing the thing on LAN like you haven't done in years. You're going to be a little off, probably. Or it's going to fuel you into, no pun intended, it's going to fuel you into playing better and all that momentum and whatnot and what have you. But I do like Dallas. They can make a statement this weekend and beating some of those teams in the mid-table and saying, hey, look, we're way above you guys, or we're above you guys. You guys have fun beating each other up. So I'm going to take Dallas 3-2 against Washington. Now that we talked about Dallas-Washington, all right, let's go over my picks for Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to pick up all the matches. I'll throw them right up on the screen here at the end, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, first match, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Washington taking on Toronto. We talked about this match. I like Washington 3-2. 4:30. Next match, we have New York taking on the Atlanta Reign. I like Reign 3-1. Final match of Saturday, we have the Glads taking on Boston. I like Gladiators 3-0. Moving on to Sunday. First match of Sunday, we have Vancouver taking on the London Spitfire at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I like London in this 3-2. No breadsticks, I guess, to start the season if we're doing that again. So here we are. Deny the breadsticks. They get their chance now, London. Here we go. Okay, next matchup. We have Florida taking on Paris. I like Florida 3-1. Match we just talked about. Dallas, Washington. I like Dallas beating the Washington Justice 3-2. And the final match of the opening weekend of Overwatch League Season 5. Houston Outlaws taking on the Toronto Defiant. I like Houston 3-2. Okay, guys. So that's going to do it. That will wrap up the preview for Saturday and Sunday. Obviously, if you didn't see what I did for Thursday, Friday, the link to the video will be at the end. Just click on that and check it out. You'll see where I was at before the week started as far as my Thursday games and my Friday games. But that's going to do it. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me. All of your support, greatly, greatly appreciated. If you've been here for 5 years or if you just joined in the last day, thank you very much. If you're new and you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much for stopping by. If you could hit a like, hit a subscribe, do the YouTube jazz, that would be fantastic. We can keep this conversation going, talk about the matches and stuff. Stay tuned, guys, for my weekend review on Monday night or Tuesday morning. This is Misfit. I'm out. Everybody stay safe, have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you later.